Hello, this is Blue Star, Defender of Equestria, and this is my next Focus On video. The Royal Guard in Season 5, and how the template has finally been broken. Yes! Yes, it's like in Season 5, the Royal Guard finally got a chance to speak and even fight a little bit. Even though what they said got them sent to the dungeon for deserting their post, and sadly the Royal Guard did not prevail in the fight against Sombra, but we did our best, I tell you. Oh, but it's just never enough. Oh, maybe someday we'll actually get to win a fight, but oh well. At least it was a step in the right direction, and it did show that the Royal Guard actually can fight. The short answer is that Equestria was not meant to be winning this fight to begin with. It's clearly ending in a stalemate. So the good news is the Royal Guard don't exactly lose this fight, but they don't win it either. I do have to agree with Josh Scorcher that it is getting frustrating that the military, the Wonderbolts, the Royal Guard are always being painted as incompetent. But in the case of Rarity Investigates, it's one of those things of it's a writing thing. They had to have some way for Wind Rider to break into the wings so that he can go and frame Rainbow Dash, and if he can't do that because the guard stopped them, that'd be the end of the story. So, bummer. And of course, in true children's shows fashion, they bribe them with cake. It's a kid's show, you can't resist cake. But, of course, sadly, that was a really, really bad thing to do because it did lead to a breach of security. And the good news is, while Wind Rider, who didn't exactly have the best of intentions, could have done far worse. So, ooh, dear. But at the same time, I did really like that scene. And even though in that scene they are admitting to deserting their post, which would definitely be a court-martial offense, and they were sent to the dungeons. The good news is, I hear they get out next week. But even so, I still like that scene because it gave the Royal Guard a chance to express how they feel and show that they're not just big tough ponies that stand in front of the doors. Like, we have feelings too, you know? Even the thing with the cake was an interesting follow-up to the previous line. We don't get a lot of recognition for what we do. And it was just such an awesome moment to see that guy turn to the audience and say that line, because I have a feeling this is one of those moments where someone on the MLP staff probably understands. And I would think that, probably people in the military probably feel a little bit that way too. But anyway, I will take this opportunity to say that I appreciate everything the military do. Yo! Thank you very much for serving. Yo! But the other big thing that happened in the season regarding the Royal Guard was the breaking of the template. Yes! Because previously the Royal Guard have either been brown, white, or gray. But Rarity Investigates basically busted that. Is that, we have 3 ponies of different colors we've never seen before, including one that's purple and green. So that's just awesome. That's great. The template has finally been broken. Yes! And of course, the reason for this was that at first it wasn't worth it to the show to make multiple versions of the Royal Guard in different colors, etc., etc., etc. They just made 1 or 2 and just simply copied them over and over and over again. And this has even led to some people concluding that, oh, the Royal Guard are all clones. Well, in an animation sense, yeah, they're all clones, but I don't think that was ever really the intent. And this is why this is so awesome. It's like the Royal Guard have finally been, in a way, allowed to be individuals. They've allowed to have individual colors and individual personalities and, not just simply be, in a way, a clone. That, it's like, we're ponies too now. Yeah! It certainly makes me very happy because in my fanfiction, Blue Star has to be dyed white in order to join the Royal Guard. And he's really upset by that. He almost rejects it. It's like, I don't want to be like every pony else. I want to be who and what I am. And I think a lot of other ponies would probably feel that way too, but I'm glad that that is no longer a requirement. That's no longer the case. Of course, at the same time, I don't think that probably ever was a requirement. It's just simply the way the show started out. And not to mention, the Royal Guard, for the most part, serve a quote-unquote ceremonial role, in that their day-to-day job is to parade around in this very beautiful, pretty, ceremonial-looking armor. But I will say this, is that just like the Buckingham Palace Guard, if there is fighting to be done, they're going to be the first ones to be sent out to go do it. And both of these guys are a force to be reckoned with. It's like no one would want to mess with the Buckingham Palace Guard. Because I just feel a little bit bad about calling them, ceremonial guard in my first Royal Guard video. And of course, they're not. They're active members of the military, and they definitely can fight. And I would like to think the Royal Guard can fight too. And again in this season, we are shown that they can. Did they win? Sadly, no, but unfortunately, as is always, they're not allowed to win. But again, it's simply a circumstance of the story. And that frustrates me. Again, it would be nice to have an episode where the Royal Guard get to win. Just once, but oh well. But anyway, it's just so cool that the template has finally been broken, because now opens up the whole possibility for, different kinds of ponies and different colors. I think it's awesome. It's just great. I mean, it's just sort of almost in a way the nature of the show is that it's not about excluding people, it's about including them. But anyway, in that ceremonial role, it kind of makes sense to, that you'd have all the ponies basically be the same color. And I think white and brown are probably a basic military / ceremonial colors for horses and all that. So that's probably where that came from. But otherwise, I'm really glad that the Royal Guard have been allowed to be a little bit more individualistic. It's not just about the color of your mane, it's about whether you're willing and able to do this job or not. And I think that's just so cool. And I'm just glad that the Royal Guard, like a lot of characters in this season, were given a moment to shine. Yo-ho! So everybody, let's go out there and defend Equestria as one! Charge! So that is the end of my video on the Royal Guard in Season 5, and how the template has been broken. This is Blue Star. Stay strong, and pony on. Blue Star out.